like and subscribe. What was the most disturbing thing found in a video game? Vault 11 from Fallout New Vegas. Whilst most of the vaults will have the aftermath of some twisted science experiment waiting to attack you, Vault 11 is completely deserted bar a few mutated insects. Reading the terminals and listening to recordings reveals the inhabitants had to vote for one person to sacrifice every year or else they'd all be killed. They kept doing this until only 5 survivors remained. The final 5 made a pact that they would not kill another member and would instead wait for the vault to kill them. Only for a message to play congratulating them on their mercy and bravery, and called them a shining example of humanity for not sacrificing one of their own. Whole thing was a up social experiment to see if they would actually do it. Of the 5 survivors, 4 killed themselves, and the final one walked out into the wasteland hoping to tell his story. Proper me up did that one. When you first arrive at the mental hospital in Outlast, you stumble across 2 escaped patients in a corpse. They didn't appreciate being disturbed. You like to watch, you little sicko? You weren't invited to watch. The dude with the valve in the back of his head shown in intros of many Valve games. In Haunting Ground, if you die to your stalkers you can hear them in the background of the game over screen desecrating your body while laughing or enjoying it. That little room in the beginning of Outlast 2 where they would sacrifice babies and you walk over all the dead badaras and it even makes little crunching sounds. Having to drill a needle into your character's eye for some reason in Dead Space 2, and if you slightly up the QTE, it drills your character's brain out and you die. Not disturbing in the same sense of the others, but the silent ballerina slices in BioShock creep me out good and proper. There's one section where you walk across a huge room in ankle deep water and there are some in there, posed. You walk across, with just the ambient sounds of Rapture which are creepy enough, pick up a thing on a little dry patch and turn around. Every one of those splices is now facing you, staring at you. And then they run at you. I panicked and fired my plasmid, the electric bolt one, and killed them all. And they all fall down without uttering a sound. BRRRR. My creepiest part of that game was when you're supposed to take pictures of the splicers. You can't use weapons and the camera at the same time. At one point, I heard one coming along the ceiling, so I took the picture, and it said bonus, multiple subjects. That freaked me out cause I could only see one leaping at me. In Until Dawn, when you read a note and discover that one of the 2 sisters had to eat the other's corpse in order to survive. Pretty disturbing. Red Dead Nightmare. I had to take a break after the crying Sasquatch asked me to put him out of his misery because we had hunted all of his family. The aborted baby / monster in Witcher 3. There's a torture chamber behind a secret wall in Oblivion. As I progressed through it, it felt more sickening. Finding Luckian's corpse hung up, while the Dark Brotherhood tell you they skinned him alive is pretty brutal too. The new Fallout games have some depressing holotapes. Fallout 4 has one very early in the game of a teenage girl who found out she was pregnant. Her family and the children's dad abandoned her, so she stayed in an abandoned ranger lodge as the bombs fell. Fallout 76 has ones about a miner trapped in a mine shaft after the bombs fell. As you progress deeper into the mine you pick up tapes detailing him and other miners slowly dying. The last one is about the miner reminiscing about his first date / dance with his wife and ends with him singing "You Are My Sunshine" as he runs out of oxygen. Edit. Thank you all for the upvotes and awards. This is my best posting yet. I appreciate all the love. I think the beginning of Evil Within 1 was pretty brutal and disturbing when you start out hanging upside down in that basement area and that big butcher dude slices another guy's throat in front of you, then walks away. You're hanging upside down squirming, and can see the blood pouring out on the floor. That I'm Piano from Mario 64. I think the talking fetus from the PT demo to be quite disturbing. the entirety of both of the Outlast games. There is some gruesome imagery in those games from people being strung up by their entrails to pits of dead babies, so I think those games take the unsettling cake. I found a letter on a dead body in Dishonored. It was a love letter from a husband to his wife. They had the same names as some friends of mine, a friend from HS and her husband whom I don't know all that well, so I thought that was neat. Then, I found another throwaway character in Fallout 76 that had the same name as an old friend of mine. First and last, and the wiki shows he was born in our state. Creepy as. Until I found out my friend's husband worked on both games. Evidently, they let you put personal Easter eggs in some games. In Red Dead Redemption 2, you can find a lady who used to be a prostitute, but as she got older, less men visited her, so she wasn't at getting much money, and she was getting pretty lonely. You can find her skeleton outside her cabin and apparently she killed herself by overdosing. There is also another one, where you can find a daughter of a very rich family locked up in a toilet. She was possessed but she used to be happy, and you can tell by finding pictures of her. This game is very sad sometimes. That game is very sad basically all the time. Like every cabin and farmstead seemed to be another little tragedy. Nature item mauled by bear. Cabin with people sitting at the table bullseed by a meteor through the roof. Then there was the Ed up. Like the house, where some scientist was trying to make man bear pig, the cult mass suicide, and the mysterious painting, oh, and also the vampire. The big spoilery moment in Doki Doki Literature Club hit me surprisingly hard. Probably a combination of how believable it was, and the juxtaposition with what the game had been like up to that point. Murdering the Elephant Queen in It Takes Two was pretty dark. Pyramid Head abusing the mannequins in Silent Hill 2. The Last of Us. Scene where Ellie was almost raped and eaten, but she stabs him repeatedly instead. The entire Soma game is depressing and disturbing AF. Totally would recommend though. White phosphorus seen in Spec Ops, The Line. Asterisk WHAT remains of Edith FINCH asterisk has some WTF moments. Doesn't matter who you are, at least one of the deaths will get to you. For me, it was Lewis. Well, Outlast literally had a necrophilia scene lol. When you find out how Darkspawn are made in Dragon Age Origins. First day they come and catch everyone. Second day they beat us, and eat some for meat. Third day the men are all gnawed on again. Fourth day we wait, and fear for our fate. Fifth day they return, and it's another girl's turn. Sixth day her screams we hear in our dreams. Seventh day she grew as in her mouth they spew. Eighth day we hated as she is violated. Ninth day she grins and devours her kin. Now she does feast, as she's become the beast. The baby from Resident Evil 8 was honestly one of the most horrifying things in gaming I've seen. The sounds and looks were enough to make me feel uncomfortable. Also, killing tons of civilians in an airport acting as a Russian in Modern Warfare was pretty disturbing. Am I weird for that part not affecting me? Like I felt enough separation between me and the game that it felt about as arcade-wise as the rest of the game. Vault 22. The whole series is full of twisted stuff like this. You just need to pay attention to the notes, computer terminals, and corpses or else you wouldn't see a lot of it. Psychonauts. When you go into Miller's mind, it's so fun and cheery until you find the hidden room where you find out about her past, how she used to work at an orphanage and it burned down while she was out shopping. Because of her psychic abilities she apparently heard all their screams. She tells you not to go further, and if you do go further you come to a room with a bunch of blobby creatures behind a cage whispering help us, save us. She tells you that it's dangerous there, but luckily she has her nightmares under control. It was just so sad and shocking seeing something like that in a game I thought would be a happy and funny children's game. Though I guess the game did end up having a lot of twists, which makes that scene seem like a pretty Psychonauts-ish thing now. When you walk into the bathroom of a bar in Citadel with Jack in Mass Effect 2, he starts talking about when she got jumped by a group of people in a bathroom, when she was in purgatory, prison, and got sexually assaulted. She murdered every single person that raped her. The Uldra and Soho skeletons in the school in Fallout 3 near Vault 101. The baby Macromorphs in Dead Space. Outlast DLC. You go around the corner, and there's a body on a table, set up to look like it's giving birth. There's also a head, where a head shouldn't be. The old Cheeto in Pokémon Diamond/Pearl/Platinum. Ghosts are occurring things in the Pokémon games, but this one takes the cake because of the implication that the ghosts are spirits of the Cheetah residents who died because of a rotten. Pokémon is full of messed up stuff. Going through the Pokédex, you can easily go from this Pokémon was born from the laughter of children to this Pokémon is the aborted fetus of the Demon Queen powered only by hatred at the life it never had, existing solely to bring the fires of hell to the world and those upon it. Fire/Dragon type. The transorbital lobotomy from Bioshock Infinite burial at sea. The sharp ping of the nail being hammered into your brain is so icky. Anyone remember the babies with knives for arms and legs in Dantella's Inferno? I did not see that coming. Also, the Suffering Girl's enemy design, based on methods of execution, was pretty ed up. That was a great game. First one I played where my choices in game could change the ending. Course then the endings all kinda sucked. The remains of the mother and child in Spec Ops. The whole game is disturbing as every step you take as Walker is literally killing the very last survivors of D-Bay, either innocent civilians, the resistance you were supposed to protect, or even the CIA. It doesn't matter. They all die because of you. I found the scene when you destroy the last Minister of Water, the second most disturbing thing behind only the white phosphorus. By doing so, not only you already killed hundreds of innocent people, but all the people still surviving in the city are dead anyway, because there's no water left anymore. You are not a hero. LV 100 Magikarp. You've been visited by the ghost of a very important man. Pay your respects by liking and subscribing, and he'll grant you 3 weeks of good luck.